What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. I hope you're all keeping wonderfully well. My name is Aaron and we are back again, of course, with the latest news and developments in both Gaelic football and hurling. Now, first of all, if you could hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new around here, share this out to as many people as you can. I would kindly appreciate it. And of course, we are back again with some more latest news and developments in both Gaelic football and hurling. And I mean, yeah, there's definitely been a lot of developments over the past week or so. A lot of debate online in regards to club versus county and inter-county teams breaking rules and lots of other stuff really to delve into. Some players opting out of their various different county teams for this year's championship, and obviously we had some significant retirements as well, so we will delve all into that in this video. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Alright, so first of all, we'll delve straight into the club versus county debate. Now, I feel like the club versus county debate, it depends on a lot of different circumstances if you fall on either end of the spectrum, in my opinion. I mean, if you're from Leitrim or if you're from Wicklow and you're very involved in the community and you're very involved in the club, I feel like then you're going to be club over county. I mean, it's automatic, you know, and even the same here in Dublin or in any other county, you know, if you're more involved with a club, of course you're going to say club over county. But I think if you're more of a casual fan, you don't really have any association with a club, then of course you're going to be the one who goes ahead and feels that county is obviously more important than club. Now, in my opinion, I don't really have any close association with any GAA club so much anymore, but of course, you know, I do understand both sides to the argument, and I feel like with the GAA in regards to how they've structured the championship this year, I feel like they've really done the best that they could in terms of, you know, they're allowing the county championships to go ahead. I mean, obviously we would have all loved to have seen All-Ireland club championships in there in both football and hurling, but obviously given the current circumstance and given what has happened in the world in the past couple of months or so, it just doesn't seem that it's going to be possible to fit it in, unfortunately. I mean, there have been some calls maybe to play the club championship in January or February and then suspend the National League and the championship again, but there's always going to be a knock-on effect in regards to that. So I suppose, you know, we'll get into some of the reaction now in a minute, but in terms of my opinion, I don't really fall on either end of the spectrum, to be perfectly honest. I understand both sides, both points of view, and maybe the GAA needs to show more clarity to, you know, the clubs and to the inter-counties to really, you know, find a structure in regards to how they're going to go about things, and maybe that's been the big issue here. Alright, now the first thing we'll do is we'll jump into a piece, of course. I'm sure a lot of you lads would have seen, but Michael Duigan was speaking, of course, on Off the Ball during the week. It's high time the GAA grew a pair of balls, and you know, he's really laying the cards out on the table there. I mean, and you have to say fair play to him. If we have a look at exactly what he said here, he said the first thing I probably wouldn't have done is put a date like 14th of September in place when you're allowing clubs to play until the end of October or even later. It's creating that overlap. I would have said that any county that trains between now and that day, let's say 1st of September, give a window, and then most players will either be in the semi-finals or finals by mid-September. If you're out of it, let them back. And I think he makes a fair point, and we'll get into the statement that came out from the GPA in regards to, you know, a lot of the kind of club versus county row in that as well. If a lot of clubs are knocked out from September 14th onwards, maybe then what you could do is then the players could go and train with their various inter-county teams. Now, I suppose he does make a lot of points. I mean, the fact that the GAA actually came out and said that they wouldn't be sanctioning any inter-county teams that went back and trained prior to September 14th is just very laughable, in my opinion. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, why would you even mention that? You know, why would you even mention it if you're not going to sanction them? Now, they have obviously gone ahead and reversed their opinion in the past couple of days, and it has come out that they will issue some sort of sanctioning in regards to inter-county teams that do train before September 14th, but it's clear the only reason why they have done that is because they're under some sort of pressure. So the Gaelic Players Association, they have come out and responded to a lot of the, you know, negativity around this entire situation. This is their statement, of course. We won't read the entire thing out, but basically what they've kind of gone ahead and said pretty much is that they believe that, you know, if their various clubs are knocked out after September 14th, they should be allowed go train with their inter-county teams, you know, as soon as possible. And even prior to September 14th, if a lot of the clubs are knocked out of their county championships, then those specific players should be allowed train with their inter-county teams. I think what everyone just wants is a level playing field in terms of the championship this year, but unfortunately it's going to be impossible. We know there's going to be teams that are going to break these rules. We know there's teams that are going to put plans in place, that are going to have plans ready, and obviously it's causing a lot of confusion amongst club managers and amongst county managers. I mean, Oisin McConville actually came out recently over on the RTE GAA podcast, and he pretty much admitted that Monaghan were one of the teams that were already training, but he said that the relationship between him and Seamus McEnany was perfect, that they were communicating very effectively, and that everything was actually in motion. And I suppose when you look at it in that extent, you know, is there really a big issue if the players are happy training with their inter-county teams and they're happy training with their clubs? I suppose the kind of problem is, are you going to get that with every club, with every county? You probably aren't, and I feel like that's probably one of the main issues. Alright, so now what we'll do is we will have a look at some of the reaction in regards to the club versus county debate on social media and on Twitter in particular now. So there was an interesting tweet that came out here, and we'll actually have a look at it on screen now, from Evan McKenna, who pretty much goes on to say that hate to say nothing culture in GAA. Every person near a club along with their mothers know that Dublin, Tyrone, Kilkenny, Monaghan, Armagh, Mayo were to some degree training in the pandemic and risking lives of players, families and communities. Everyone knows this, but say nothing. I mean, there's certainly no evidence to back this up, in my opinion. I mean, to say that all these counties have already been training, you know, there's literally no evidence behind this. The GAA Hub 2K, he says, any player wants to train and play at an elite level. I think when given the choice between club and county, most players would choose county. Most fans enjoy county games more, and as great as club is, county is a more entertaining and high quality game. And I suppose to kind of follow up from that, I would say that, you know, county is obviously where the money's made. You know, that's where the money is made for the GAA. That is where the money is made for all the various media companies. So county is always going to take priority over club. County is always going to be the number one priority. You know, just for the sense that money talks, unfortunately, and especially in today's world, and especially given the current climate that we have all found ourselves in. And I think he does make a good point in regards to the fans as well. You know, fans probably, especially the more casual fans, you know, they would much prefer watching inter-county games. You know, a lot of casual fans wouldn't know about some of the derby games in Armagh or Roscommon, etc. So I think that is kind of the main reasoning why there's been such a push to get inter-county back up and running. Now, GAA Zone says club over county, and again, you know, it comes down to personal preference, I suppose, as to what people want. You look at Westmeath, for example. You look at a lot of the clubs in Westmeath, and you look at a lot of the fans there. You know, they know that they're probably only going to have one game. I mean, not probably. I mean, they will only have one game in this year's championship, because unluckily they play Dublin, and of course it's an open knockout. So of course in Westmeath the priority is going to be clubs. So I think it's a wider issue that the GAA need to look into in more details, in my opinion. They need to change the structure completely of the championship, and it is something we will discuss in more detail in the coming weeks or so, but I think that is something that is definitely worth pointed out. Alright, so it also did come out during the week that Shane Dowling has announced his retirement from Limerick hurling, inter-county hurling. He has gone ahead and retired due to various different injury problems. Now, it is unknown whether he will return to his club at some point. I suppose we'll have to see in the future kind of how things develop. But certainly for, you know, 2020, he will not be playing any hurling whatsoever. He does have to go and get surgery, I believe, on his knee, and that is the main reason why he has announced his retirement. Now, I'm not going to go into the entire statement that he did release, but he did announce it obviously over Twitter, and there certainly has been, you know, some various reaction into his retirement. I mean, for myself personally, you know, he's definitely been one of the best hurlers of the decade, not just for Limerick, but I think in general as well. And certainly, unfortunately, he's just had a lot of various different injury problems. You know, I think when you look at Shane Dowling, you look at his performance back in 2013 even, when Limerick won their first Munster title in, I believe, 20 odd years. You know, he led a significant role in that. You know, he had 2014 when he scored the 2 goals against Tipperary in a massive win in that game. And even, of course, when they won the All-Ireland 2 years ago, you know, that performance against Cork coming off the bench was instrumental. And, you know, he has made a significant impact in this Limerick side. I think, you know, having him as an option to come off the bench in a lot of these games was absolutely crucial, especially in 2018 when Limerick, you know, seemed to rally late on a lot of the time. They seemed to come from behind and they seemed to find an answer in those big games, and I feel like he will undoubtedly be massively missed. Now, if we have a look at some tweets and reactions to this, now I suppose first of all we'll have a look at a comment here from Damien Lawler. So, at just 27, ongoing knee problems have this morning forced the inter-county retirement of Shane Dowling. He walks away with Munster and All-Ireland medals for club and county, Limerick's all-time leading scorer, All-Star League and 2 Railway Cups. What a stylist. John Cregan says, on behalf of all at Limerick GAA, thank you Shane Dowling for your service to Limerick in what has been a glittering but all too short career. You can feel so proud that you have done it all, won it all, and you have given your best at all times to our cause. And yeah, absolutely spot on there. Derek Bradish says the best point in goal I've seen live in Croke Park were both scored by Shane Dowling. No other player would have scored either of them. Genius of a hurler, and I believe he's referring to the one-handed point he scored against Kilkenny, which was a massive point at the time, and certainly one of the points of that year. Of course, Shane Dowling hasn't been the only one, of course, who has announced that he will be stepping away from the game. Jack McCaffrey, of course, as well, has announced that he will be stepping away from inter-county football for Dublin this coming championship. Now, it's unknown whether he will return in 2021, and we don't know the entire reasoning behind him wanting to step away. I mean, this isn't a retirement as such, but he has stepped away. Now, he has done this before. He done this in 2016 when he wanted to go travelling. He obviously returned in 2017, and now he's decided to take a break from the game again. It is widely known that it is just a break as such, so we'll have to see if he does return, but I think he is going to be a massive miss for Dublin. Of course, my most recent video, I was talking about the top 10 players of the decade, and Jack McCaffrey was definitely on that list, and he will be a massive miss for Dublin. Pat Spillane, well, he had his say on this, and he said that McCaffrey's departure is not just a blow to Dublin, it's a disappointment to all Gaelic football fans. In an era of robotic players who mostly go about their business with a scowl on the faces, he was a constant ray of sunshine. And Pat Spillane, I mean, he just never seems to stop complaining, does he? But in this, obviously, he's saying that you know, in an era of blanket defences and an era of defensive football and everything else, I think Jack McCaffrey's athleticism in the sport has definitely been a breath of fresh air, in my opinion. But anyway, lads, that is going to be the end of the video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe and all that. I do appreciate all the recent comments that are coming in the past couple of weeks or so, so I will certainly try my best to keep the consistency going on this channel. But yeah, I will speak to you all soon. My name is Aaron. Have a lovely week, and I'll speak to you soon.